In the intricate tapestry of human interactions, we often encounter individuals who exhibit a heightened sense of self-importance and a lack of empathy for others. The narcissist. These individuals can present significant challenges, manipulating those around them to feed their insatiable need for admiration and validation. As we navigate these complex relationships, it becomes crucial to find strategies that allow us to maintain our peace and integrity. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy founded by Zeno of Citium, offers a profound framework for handling such individuals. The Stoic teachings emphasize the importance of inner tranquility, resilience, and virtue, guiding us to focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot. This philosophy is not about seeking revenge or causing harm, but about mastering our own responses and cultivating a life of meaning and fulfillment. 1. Embracing indifference. The first Stoic principle to embrace when dealing with a narcissist is indifference. Epictetus taught us to distinguish between what we can control and what we cannot. The narcissist's behavior is beyond our control, but our reaction to it is entirely within our grasp. By maintaining a stance of indifference, we refuse to feed their need for attention and validation. This does not mean we ignore them. Rather, we remain emotionally detached, viewing their actions as mere external events that do not impact our inner peace. This practice of apatheia, or freedom from passion, allows us to navigate interactions with narcissists without being swayed by their manipulations or provocations. It is important to recognize that indifference does not equate to passivity or apathy. Instead, it is an active choice to remain unaffected by external events that are beyond our control. When we encounter a narcissist, their behavior is often designed to provoke a reaction, to draw us into their web of self-importance. By responding with indifference, we deny them the satisfaction of seeing us disturbed or upset. This approach requires a great deal of self-discipline and mindfulness, as it is natural to feel anger or frustration in the face of narcissistic behavior. However, by practicing indifference, we cultivate a sense of inner calm and resilience that allows us to remain composed in any situation. Over time, this stance of indifference can disarm the narcissist, as they realize that their attempts to provoke us are futile. This, in turn, can reduce the frequency and intensity of their manipulative behavior, creating a more peaceful and harmonious environment. 2. Practicing compassion. While it may seem counterintuitive, practicing compassion is a powerful Stoic response to narcissism. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that every soul is interconnected, and to harm another is to harm oneself. Understanding that narcissism often stems from deep-seated insecurities and unresolved trauma, we can approach the narcissist with empathy rather than hostility. By seeing their behavior as a reflection of their own suffering, we free ourselves from the cycle of anger and resentment. This compassionate perspective enables us to maintain our moral high ground and fosters a sense of inner calm, even in the face of provocation. Compassion does not mean excusing or enabling harmful behavior. Rather, it involves recognizing the underlying pain and suffering that drives the narcissist's actions. This understanding allows us to respond with patience and kindness, rather than anger or retaliation. When we encounter a narcissist, it is easy to become consumed by feelings of frustration and indignation. However, by shifting our perspective and viewing their behavior through a lens of compassion, we can break free from this cycle of negativity. This approach requires a deep sense of empathy and a willingness to see beyond the surface-level behavior of the narcissist. It involves acknowledging that their actions are often a desperate attempt to fill an inner void or to mask feelings of inadequacy and fear. By practicing compassion, we not only protect our own inner peace, but also create the possibility for healing and transformation. This does not mean that we must tolerate or accept abusive behavior. Rather, it means that we can respond with love and understanding, even as we set and enforce healthy boundaries. Through compassion, we can transform our interactions with narcissists into opportunities for growth and healing, both for ourselves and for them. 3. Setting boundaries. Setting firm boundaries is another essential Stoic strategy. Seneca emphasized the importance of self-control and discipline in all aspects of life. When dealing with a narcissist, it is crucial to establish clear boundaries to protect our well-being. This involves assertively communicating our limits and consistently enforcing them. Boundaries act as a shield, preventing the narcissist from encroaching upon our mental and emotional space. By upholding these limits, we demonstrate respect for ourselves and refuse to be drawn into the narcissist's manipulative games. This practice reinforces our sense of autonomy and strengthens our resilience. Setting boundaries requires a deep understanding of our own needs and limits. It involves a process of self-reflection and self-awareness, as we identify the behaviors and actions that we are willing to tolerate and those that we are not. Once we have established our boundaries, it is important to communicate them clearly and assertively to the narcissist. This communication should be done in a calm and respectful manner, without anger or aggression. It is essential to remain firm and consistent in enforcing these boundaries, as the narcissist may attempt to test or undermine them. By standing our ground, we send a clear message that we value and respect ourselves, and that we will not allow our well-being to be compromised. This practice of setting and enforcing boundaries is a powerful way to maintain our inner peace and protect ourselves from the harmful effects of narcissistic behavior. It allows us to take control of our own lives and to create a healthy and balanced environment. Over time, the narcissist may come to respect these boundaries, leading to a more harmonious and respectful relationship. 4. Focusing on virtue. Stoicism teaches us that true happiness and fulfillment come from living a life of virtue. In the presence of a narcissist, we must remain steadfast in our commitment to virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. By prioritizing our own moral development, we shift our focus away from the narcissist's behavior and towards our own growth. This internal focus acts as a grounding force, helping us stay centered and composed. The narcissist may seek to provoke or undermine us, but our dedication to virtue ensures that we remain unaffected by their actions. In this way, we cultivate an inner strength that is impervious to external disturbances. Focusing on virtue involves a conscious effort to live in accordance with our highest values and principles. It requires a daily practice of self-reflection and self-improvement, as we strive to embody the qualities of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance in all our actions. This commitment to virtue provides a solid foundation upon which we can build a life of meaning and purpose. When we encounter a narcissist, their behavior may challenge our resolve and test our commitment to our values. However, by remaining focused on our own moral development, we can rise above their provocations and maintain our integrity. This practice of focusing on virtue allows us to transcend the petty and destructive behavior of the narcissist, and to cultivate a sense of inner peace and fulfillment that is independent of external circumstances. It empowers us to take control of our own lives and to create a positive and meaningful existence, regardless of the actions of others. By living a life of virtue, we not only protect ourselves from the harmful effects of narcissistic behavior, but also serve as a positive example for others to follow. Through our actions, we can inspire those around us to strive for their own moral development and to create a more just and compassionate world. 5. Practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is a cornerstone of Stoic practice. By cultivating a heightened awareness of our thoughts, emotions, and reactions, we gain greater control over our interactions with a narcissist. Mindfulness allows us to observe the narcissist's behavior without becoming entangled in it. We can recognize their attempts to manipulate or provoke us and choose our responses consciously. This practice of self-awareness creates a mental buffer, preventing us from reacting impulsively or emotionally. Through mindfulness, we maintain our composure and respond to the narcissist with measured, deliberate actions, thus preserving our inner peace. Practicing mindfulness involves a continuous effort to stay present and fully engaged in the current moment. It requires a disciplined focus on our own thoughts and emotions, as well as a conscious awareness of our surroundings and interactions. By cultivating this heightened state of awareness, we can better understand the dynamics of our interactions with a narcissist and identify patterns of behavior that may trigger emotional reactions. This understanding allows us to respond to the narcissist's provocations with greater clarity and calmness, rather than being swept away by our emotions. Mindfulness also involves a practice of non-judgmental observation, allowing us to view the narcissist's behavior without labeling it as good or bad. This neutral perspective helps us to remain detached and objective, reducing the emotional impact of their actions. By maintaining a state of mindfulness, we create a mental space that allows us to choose our responses deliberately and thoughtfully. This practice not only helps us to maintain our inner peace, but also enables us to navigate our interactions with a narcissist in a more effective and constructive manner. Over time, the practice of mindfulness can lead to a greater sense of self-awareness and self-control, empowering us to handle the challenges posed by a narcissist with grace and composure. 6. Engaging in self-reflection. Regular self-reflection is a vital Stoic exercise. By examining our thoughts, behaviors, and motivations, we gain insight into our interactions with the narcissist. Self-reflection helps us identify any vulnerabilities or triggers that the narcissist may exploit. By understanding our own weaknesses, we can fortify ourselves against manipulation and maintain our emotional equilibrium. This practice also allows us to evaluate our responses and make adjustments as needed, ensuring that we remain aligned with our Stoic principles. Through continuous self-examination, we develop greater self-awareness and resilience, enabling us to handle the narcissist with grace and composure. Engaging in self-reflection requires a commitment to introspection and honesty. It involves setting aside time each day to examine our thoughts, emotions, and actions, and to consider how they align with our values and principles. This process of self-examination helps us to identify patterns of behavior that may be counterproductive or harmful, and to make conscious efforts to change them. When dealing with a narcissist, self-reflection allows us to recognize our own triggers and vulnerabilities, and to develop strategies for managing them. This awareness helps us to maintain our composure and to respond to the narcissist in a way that is consistent with our values and principles. Self-reflection also provides an opportunity to evaluate our interactions with a narcissist and to learn from our experiences. By considering what worked well and what could be improved, we can continually refine our approach and become more effective in handling their behavior. This practice of self-reflection not only helps us to navigate our interactions with a narcissist, but also contributes to our overall personal growth and development. Through continuous self-examination, we can cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves and our values, and develop the resilience and inner strength needed to handle any challenge that comes our way. 7. Embracing impermanence. Stoicism teaches us to embrace the impermanent nature of all things. The narcissist's behavior, like everything else, is transient and subject to change. By accepting this, we can adopt a more detached perspective. The provocations and manipulations of the narcissist lose their power when we recognize them as fleeting occurrences. This understanding allows us to maintain a sense of perspective and not become overly invested in the narcissist's actions. Embracing impermanence helps us remain calm and composed, knowing that the challenges posed by the narcissist are temporary and will eventually pass. Embracing impermanence involves a conscious effort to accept the transient nature of all things. It requires an understanding that everything in life, including our interactions with a narcissist, is subject to change and impermanence. This perspective helps us to remain detached and objective, reducing the emotional impact of the narcissist's behavior. By viewing their actions as fleeting and impermanent, we can avoid becoming overly invested in their provocations and manipulations. This understanding also allows us to maintain a sense of perspective, recognizing that the challenges posed by the narcissist are temporary and will eventually pass. Embracing impermanence also involves a practice of letting go and accepting what we cannot control. It requires a willingness to release our attachment to outcomes and to trust in the natural flow of life. This practice helps us to maintain our inner peace and composure, even in the face of adversity. By accepting the impermanent nature of all things, we can cultivate a sense of inner calm and resilience, knowing that we have the strength and wisdom to navigate any challenge that comes our way. 8. Cultivating gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to the negativity that a narcissist may bring into our lives. By focusing on the positive aspects of our existence, we diminish the influence of the narcissist's behavior. Seneca advised us to be grateful for what we have and to find joy in simple pleasures. Practicing gratitude shifts our attention away from the narcissist's attempts to disrupt our peace and towards the abundance in our lives. This positive outlook strengthens our resilience and fortifies our spirit, making us less susceptible to the narcissist's machinations. Through gratitude, we cultivate a sense of contentment and inner harmony that the narcissist cannot undermine. Cultivating gratitude involves a conscious effort to focus on the positive aspects of our lives and to appreciate the blessings that we have. It requires a practice of mindfulness and awareness, as we make a deliberate effort to recognize and acknowledge the good things in our lives. By focusing on what we are grateful for, we shift our attention away from the negative behavior of the narcissist and towards the abundance and joy that surrounds us. This positive outlook helps us to maintain our inner peace and resilience, even in the face of adversity. Practicing gratitude also involves a daily ritual of expressing appreciation for the people, experiences, and opportunities that enrich our lives. This practice helps us to cultivate a sense of contentment and fulfillment, making us less susceptible to the negative influence of the narcissist. By focusing on gratitude, we can create a positive and uplifting environment that supports our well-being and personal growth. Over time, this practice of gratitude can transform our perspective and empower us to navigate our interactions with a narcissist with greater ease and grace. 9. Letting go of control. Finally, the Stoic principle of letting go of control is crucial when dealing with a narcissist. We must acknowledge that we cannot change or fix the narcissist. We can only control our own actions and responses. By relinquishing the need to control the narcissist's behavior, we free ourselves from frustration and disappointment. This acceptance allows us to focus on what truly matters, our own growth and well-being. Letting go of control is an act of liberation, enabling us to navigate interactions with a narcissist from a place of inner strength and serenity. In doing so, we embody the Stoic ideal of equanimity, remaining unshaken by external circumstances. Letting go of control involves a deep understanding of our own limitations and a willingness to accept what we cannot change. It requires a practice of mindfulness and self-awareness, as we recognize the areas of our lives that are beyond our control. By focusing on what we can control, our own actions, thoughts, and responses, we can free ourselves from the frustration and disappointment that often accompany attempts to change or fix others. This acceptance allows us to redirect our energy towards our own growth and well-being, creating a sense of inner peace and contentment. Letting go of control also involves a practice of surrender and trust, as we release our attachment to outcomes and allow life to unfold naturally. This practice helps us to maintain a sense of balance and equanimity, even in the face of adversity. By letting go of control, we can navigate our interactions with a narcissist from a place of inner strength and serenity, embodying the Stoic ideal of equanimity. This practice empowers us to take control of our own lives and to create a positive and meaningful existence, regardless of the actions of others.